Car Fair in Geneva, presented by Drive Tesla, your #1 Tesla rental service. Drive the future. DriveTesla.ch.
Hyundai is provoking with one of the best commercials of this year. Your turn, Elon. Many people don't even know what this is. This commercial expected us on the motorway, arriving at Geneva. It's the Hyundai Kona EV, the electric version of the Kona, and most of the people don't know what this commercial says because they don't even know the car and they don't even know what an Elon is. But if you're interested in e-mobility, you know, Elon Musk, the patriot of e-cars, but Tesla, so his company, is really stuck with the production of the Model 3. So countries just like Germany haven't even received the Model 3s, and still the clients have to wait for these cars. And Hyundai just threw this car on the market, and it's almost available, and with 64 kilowatt-hour battery. And now we're going to talking about this car in depth because this is one of the most interesting cars here at the Motor Show in Geneva. And let's check out the design. So this car hasn't got designed or hasn't got just developed as an e-car, because we already know the Kona as a mini SUV with a combustion engine. But Hyundai has modified the Kona, and we have some little changings, like we do not have a front grille, of course. Maybe we can see it here a little bit better, even if the bonnet is open. As you can see, this is the EV engine. Here is the charging cap and the front part where you see no grille, because an e-car doesn't need it. What's so interesting about Hyundai is that they don't have to prove themselves on the EV market, because they already have proved themselves with the Hyundai Ioniq EV version, which has one of the smallest batteries, but one of the biggest ranges ever. And this here is going to be a lot better with a 64 kilowatt battery. But that's not all, because there is also a smaller battery for everyone who doesn't need that big range of 480 kilometers WLTP. So the new standard, it's not the NEDC standard, so that means that you can realistically drive about 400 to 450 kilometers, and that's really impressive. But if you don't need to, then you can choose the 40 kilowatt hour battery, and this makes a range of 315 kilometers possible. So it's nice that Hyundai gives the clients the possibility to choose between the battery capacities, so that everyone can have what they need for their own purposes. Now, the thing is that even the Kona EV is really efficient, just as the Hyundai Ioniq is. The smaller battery has a consumption of 14.8 kilowatts per 100 kilometers, and the bigger battery, 64 kilowatt hour battery, needs 15.2. And if you know EV cars a little bit, you know that this is really a low consumption average. So that with a 64 kilowatt hour battery, you can easily drive 400, 450 kilometers, and that's really impressive. And that will definitely scare Elon Musk's Tesla Model 3, though it's a totally different design. Model 3 is a bit more design, a bit more reputational. This is more practical. Now let's check it out from the interior. Maybe you could already see my review about the Nissan Leaf 2 here at the Geneva Car Fair, and I was explaining that this is the car that I ordered. So I'm jumping from combustion engine to EV car, the Nissan Leaf 2. But I have to be honest, Hyundai looks a little bit better from the interior. The materials, the build quality not, but materials and design is better. The graphics of the nav, it looks exactly the same like in a Kia. And I think it's high resolution, or it's nice. And here, this console that you can see now is no aluminium, but it looks nice, and it's nice to touch, and you can't really see that much hard plastic, though you have it, but you're not so much confronted with it. Seat position is always a thing with EV cars, as the batteries are mostly underneath the car, underneath the seats. So the seat position is always a bit high, just like here, definitely. But I still can sit in here, and I'm 6'2". As you can see, my head still has plenty of space here. We do have a head-up display. It's not a head-up display in the windscreen. It's a little panel rising out of the dash, as you can see. But having a head-up display is nice, even if it's not the luxurious solution. Steering wheel leather and really nice build quality. Now, what I'm curious about mostly, if it's a mini SUV, so sports utility vehicle, we should remember where that name comes from, to check out the back seats. So I would sit like this on the driver's seat. Now let's see how I fit in this car behind myself. And this car is really attractive, but this is one of the small amount of issues that this car has. Look. So that's one main reason why I haven't waited for the Hyundai Kona EV, because it's too small. So with the family, especially with these seats for children that you need, it's really difficult to fit in here, especially with the knees, so I can't sit here a straight way. And even the headroom, well, I couldn't be bigger or taller. Even if it was 1 centimeter more, I couldn't sit here. So that's really tight on these back seats. And another issue is the boot space. So just an issue if you are willing to travel with a family, the boot space. As a city car, it's definitely perfect. But if you are wanting to travel, just like me, from Munich to the Garda Lake in Italy, then you need to know that boot space of, I don't know how much it is exactly, but it's, I think, 360 litres how it looks like. And it's not even deep, as you can see, so no platform to lower or to higher. Yeah, something fits in here, but not that much to say, okay, we'll go on holidays now for 2 weeks. But the focus of this car, and this I have to say, isn't the family holiday usability. It's definitely the efficiency, the combination between the efficiency of 14.8 or 15.2 kilowatt hours or kilowatts per 100 kilometers, and the huge battery that makes it possible to drive more than 400 kilometers. And I even have to say that design is nice, and I think it's exceptionally LED. Again, an advantage to the Nissan Leaf 2, for example, where you still have halogen bulbs for the indicators. It's a mini SUV, so you shouldn't be putting the focus on a spacious interior. For the driver, yes, it's okay, even for passengers sitting next to you, but on the back seats, well. But if you have children of the age of 3, 4, 5, it might be okay, because they don't need these seats for children anymore. And if you always wanted to see how an E-engine looks like, here you can see it, as Hyundai was so nice to cut the Hyundai in 2 pieces to show us how the engine looks like. And also the space underneath the seats. Take a look at this. This is how it looks like, and this is the reason why the seats are always a bit higher than in a car with a combustion engine. So these are impressive pictures. I haven't seen some like this before. And I can also see the cockpit a lot easier. And again, Hyundai is leading with the speed, so with the top speed of the car, as it's not limited to 144 kilometers an hour, just like the Nissan Leaf is, unfortunately. It's slightly above 160 kilometers per hour that you can drive with the bigger battery, and the smaller battery 155 kilometers per hour. But of course, the faster you drive constant speed with an e-car, the faster the battery goes lower. So it's actually vice versa to the combustion engine. If you drive combustion engine city traffic, then you have a lot higher fuel consumption. If you drive faster constant speeds, then the fuel consumption average goes lower. And it's the opposite with the EV car, because you have recuperation with the e-pedals, so that you win back some energy when you go off the accelerator pedal. And in the city traffic, you have a lot higher range with an EV car than on driving on a highway. So the roofline is typically SUV, as you can see, and the charging time is also really impressive, because that's also a difference that you have to see. Not every EV car charges in the same period of time, because you have the fast chargers everywhere in Europe, USA, or wherever you live, and if they give 150 or 100 kilowatts per hour, that doesn't mean automatically that your car can take these 100 kilowatts per hour, just like the Nissan Leaf 2. It doesn't help me to have 100 kilowatts per hour supercharger, because my Nissan only takes 50 kilowatts per hour, and this here takes 100 kilowatts per hour. So this means actually that you can charge this car to 80% in 50 minutes, and that's of course impressive and reduces the time that you need to wait at the chargers. I'm totally sure that this will be one of the biggest competitors to the Tesla Model 3, if not really a hazard to the Tesla Model 3, mostly because it's already or almost available compared to the Tesla Model 3. And many Model 3 owners or people who just ordered the Model 3 have cancelled their order and jumped over to the Nissan Leaf 2. And here, this jump will be even more attractive, as you have a bigger battery, faster charging time, and the driving performance. Well, you have to see the Kona as it stands here with the if it's the 64 kilowatt hour battery accelerating in 7.6 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, and the smaller battery, so the 40 kilowatt hour battery, in 9.3 seconds. So if we compare this to the Nissan Leaf 2 maybe, then we see that the Nissan Leaf 2 has a lot better driving performance, accelerating in less than 8 seconds from 0 to 100 with a 40 kilowatt hour battery. So to have the same driving performance, you really need to take the 64 kilowatt hour battery to being able to compare the performance to the Nissan Leaf 2. But I think 80 or even 90% of the people buying an e-car don't even put that much importance on the driving performance. I do so because I'm coming from a fast combustion engine. But 7.6 seconds is nice, so you're going to have nice driving behavior, nice driving performance, and really nice design. It's, I think, one of the most fantastic, if not the most fantastic EV car in 2018, the Hyundai Kona EV. Let me know which EV car you would take if someone gave you the opportunity to choose from. Nissan Leaf 2, Hyundai Ioniq, maybe the Renault Zoe, which has now 108 PS instead of the 90 with 40 kilowatt hour battery, or the Hyundai Kona maybe. Let me know in the comment box, and subscribe to my channel and leave me a thumbs up if you like the video. I'm Chris.
The Car Fair in Geneva, presented by Drive Tesla. Drive the future. DriveTesla.ch